You ever feel like your own mind is holding you hostage? Not with rage, not with screaming, but with silence sharp enough to cut from the inside. The kind that wraps around your thoughts like vines growing slow but pulling tight. You laugh with friends, but part of you is checking the shadows. Your joy walks beside you, but your fears drag their fingers along your spine. Sometimes the grip is loud, a pounding in the chest, a sudden breath you can't catch. But the worst days, it's quiet. It waits. It folds itself into the folds of your thoughts. You move through the world, but there's always something pulling at your sleeve, like a child you never had, demanding to be held. Some call it anxiety, some call it trauma. You call it normal because it's been there so long. You forgot what lightness feels like. You try to speak it out. But language wasn't built for this kind of pain. It's not anger, not grief. It's pressure without origin. A weight with no name tag. The grip knows timing. It waits until you're almost okay, until something good finally finds you. Then it taps your shoulder and says, "Don't forget." And you don't. Because how could you forget the thoughts that wrapped around your neck even during your favorite moments? You learn to function while being held, to breathe while being bent, to smile while your chest is threaded shut with invisible wire. Some days you're half here. Your body walks, your hands move, but your mind is negotiating peace with an enemy you can't see. And still, you keep going. Not because it's easy, but because you've learned how to live in the middle of the storm without anyone knowing it's raining. You've built your calm from pieces of chaos. You've laughed with a rope around your ribs. You've held others even when you were falling apart. That's the kind of strength they don't put on posters, the kind no one claps for. But I see you, still walking, still showing up, still rising, even if the hands never fully let go. Not the kind who fights the grip, but the one who survives despite it. Because surviving isn't weak, holding on isn't shameful, and being held down doesn't mean you've stopped rising. It just means you're rising slow, and slow is still rising. But even when you're rising, some days you slip again, not because you're weak, but because healing goes back and forth, and some nights the weight still wins, still you try. But even when you're rising, some days you slip again. Not because you're weak, but because healing goes back and forth. And some nights, the weight still wins. Still, you try. You get up even when it feels useless. You breathe even when your chest doesn't want to open. You fight, not with big words, not with shouting, but just by staying, by not letting go of yourself. Some wins look small: getting out of bed, drinking water, replying to someone, letting sunlight hit your skin even when you feel like hiding. But the grip, it doesn't leave just like that. It shows up in new ways. Memories that feel like hands on your throat. Regret that grabs your ribs. Old thoughts that hold on tighter every time you try to feel better. It doesn't scream. It squeezes slow, enough to make you feel it, enough to make joy feel heavy. You feel it when your smile fades too fast, when you laugh, but it feels fake, when you're with people, but your thoughts are pulling you away again. But this time you learn how to breathe with it there. You don't fight it off all the time. You just learn to move anyway. You feel the grip, but you walk. You feel the weight, but you speak. Even when it's hard, even when it hurts. That's the fight now. Not winning, just moving, not escaping, just not giving up. You're not trying to be perfect, you're just trying to stay. And that alone is something real, something strong. Even if no one claps for it, it still counts. That quiet fight, it's yours. Even if the grip grows tighter, you fight harder, because deep down, you know you're not done yet.